All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Tommy Kendi, and welcome to the BS Machine, episode number 104. And what an episode this is going to be. This is an episode with yours truly, Tommy Kendi. I'm going to be blessing your ears whenever you're listening to this. And I just actually got back from a weekend, just went away with one of my best mates. Had such a good weekend. We went up to, if you're from Australia, we went up to northern Victoria, which was really cool, to Wodonga around Albury Way, which is on the border of Victoria and New South Wales. And me and my best mate, we booked this thing where we race Formula Ford cars, and it was so cool. Like proper, like you're in an open wheeler thing. It looks like a Formula One car, but it's obviously nowhere near that quick. But it was really cool. We went up there, had a bit of shenanigans, raced some cars. We took our motorbikes up, and it was a really, really cool weekend away with the lads. And yeah, it was. I loved it, to be honest. And it's funny, when you're on a motorbike, you get so much time to think, and because there's no one to really talk to, and you're just sort of sitting there and you're thinking, and you're looking at the lush scenery, and you're on your bike and you're looking for things. And me and my mate, we're a bit rebels, so we obviously don't stick with the the speed limit. And yeah, so I mean, look, there's a lot of things that sort of happen when you're on a bike, but one of the key things, when you're just in the zone, you get all these sort of real cool moments of just thinking about stuff and realizing things, and things just landing for you. And one of the things I was really sort of diving into on the bike today, and it was like a 4 or 5 hour trip back, and it was so cool because I had so much time to really process what I was getting about this. And I've done a lot of diving into this in the past, but I think something really landed for me. And one of those things was, the main thing, which I'm going to discuss with you today, was around the past, the present, and the future. And if you look at it as a timeline, it's so interesting when you really have a look at it, that look, if you're going to call the obvious, which is usually what I do, the past has already happened. So it doesn't matter who we are. There's nothing we can really do about it. As good as it was, as bad it was, as it was, the past has already happened. It's done. The present is happening right now. So in the present moment, regardless of where you are, in the present moment, you are listening to my voice, you're experiencing either driving or walking or whatever you're doing, and you're really experiencing something, but it's here. We're in the moment right now. Your moment is your moment, and my moment is my moment. There's breath, there's emotions, there's feelings, there's thoughts, there's all sorts of shit going on. And then we've got the future. And the funny thing with the future is that it hasn't happened yet. The future is somewhere over there. The next moment hasn't happened yet. So the future hasn't arrived into this moment right now. And that is really the basis of what we're talking about on this mighty fine episode of the BS Machine, episode number 104. And one of the key things that... Whoops. Ooh, sorry, guys. Sorry, my mic just dropped. Let me get that back there. Oop, you still there? Sorry, my mic just dropped. But you got me back. We're back. How cool is that? That happened in the present moment. Did I know that was going to happen? No. Imagine if I was just sitting there going, oh my God, imagine if I start talking and the mic drops. Well, it did. But did I know that was going to be my future, my present moment? No. And also, certain decisions come in, because in that present moment, immediately in my head, I went, oh, I've got to push stop and start recording this podcast again. But no, I keep going with whatever the future is bringing me. So, and it's cool. It's actually a really cool representation of what we're really talking about today. So one of the key things that is really prominent within the way that we live our lives is that there has to be some sort of fuel that moves us forward for anything. For a car, for a body, we need food. There has to be fuel that somehow moves stuff forward. And it's exactly the same as your life, your moment-to-moment experience. There has to be some sort of fuel that is being injected into the present moment that takes us through to the next moment. Now, the key thing that I want to get through here is that if you're fueling your present moment with guilt from the past, or resentment from the past, or hurt from the past, then what you're actually doing is you're fueling your present moment, because that's all we ever have, which I should have mentioned before. But I mean, I did sort of mention it, but the present moment, the only truth that there ever will be and ever was, is the present moment that is here and happening right now. That's the only thing that's true. Whatever's happened in the past is already done. Whatever's about to happen in the future hasn't happened yet. So it doesn't matter how powerful you think you are, how much you want to fucking think about the future or think about the past. The only thing that is true and is totally on and bang on truth is this moment right here. This breath, this moment, this thought, this emotion. Actually, you know what? I won't even add emotion in, because emotion can be a combination of things that have happened in the past that have landed with you here, which we'll go into later. So if you're fueling your present moment with shit from the past or fear of the future, then what will happen is that as you fuel this present moment, what will happen is as you get to the next moment, you'll start to feel a little bit more energy or a little bit more fuel of what you're fueling this moment. So if you're fueling it with guilt, you'll get to the next moment and you'll feel even more guilty. Or if you're fueling it with hurt or hate or anger about what someone's done to you in the past or what they haven't done, whatever it might be, then you're going to end up making that more intense in the next moment. So what we want to do is we really want to know, what are you fueling at the moment? Are you fueling feelings of resentment or guilt or whatever into your present moment? Because you can bet your bottom dollar that you'll move forward to the next moment and that will get more intense. So what is it really that we want to do here? Actually, you know what? Let me add one more thing there, because what will happen is if you're putting a lot of emphasis and a lot of focus onto things that have happened in the past with you, and you're always looking out for things in the present moment where you've been hurt in the past or certain things have happened in the past, what you're basically doing is you are carrying the weight of all the shit from the past. And you can almost imagine that each hurt, each anger moment, each bubble of whatever shitty feelings that you're carrying into this moment, it gets heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier with each moment that you move forward. So the easiest way really to clear all that out is what most people think is to put all your focus into the future. And I heard, it's funny, I watched this movie the other day and I heard this quote, which was like, that's pretty cool, but also it's so fucking wrong. And the quote was, it was just a random movie, I think it was Superman or something, the new Superman. And it was, if you are disappointed, is that what it is? if you expect disappointment, then you won't be disappointed in the future. So if you're always expecting disappointment, then when disappointment happens, you won't be surprised. It was something around there. And I was like, oh my God, it's so true. But holy shit, can you imagine living life expecting disappointment? Of course it's going to come every single time. So what we want to do is we want to clear all that shit that we are carrying in this present moment. And so what we have to do, this is where the courage sort of comes in, is that if you looked into the future, and obviously you don't know what's going to happen or whatever, but let's say you want to have a future that's filled with abundance, freedom, calmness, peace, happiness, joy, health, all these type of things, then the only way to set the future up in a way that it's gonna that your next moment will arrive with happiness, with calmness, with peace, with love, with abundance, prosperity, all that type of stuff, is to fuel the present moment with those things. And that will do two things. One, it will clear all your shit from the past, because you'll be focusing on what it is that you actually want to experience. And then, so be wary. This is why I'm saying it takes courage, because as you start to do it, you sort of feel like it's a little bit fake. You're like, well, you know what? I want to feel these things, and I'm trying to force myself to feel these things, but I'm still carrying the pain of the past. So it's at the start, it'll start to feel a little bit like, you know what, this doesn't feel authentic, or it feels like I'm just trying to force it or push it. But so the fuck what? Like, just go through the first week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. And so for example, for myself, I've done this thing. If you're watching me on YouTube right now, I'm going to hold this up. You can hear my little jar. Yep. It's basically a thing that says, I'll hold up to the camera, shitty thoughts jar. So I've basically got myself a jar, and just like a super creative dude on the side of it. You might have seen this on Instagram. I put it up on Instagram a couple of days ago. Just basically a glass jar, and with big black pen, I just wrote shitty thoughts jar. So what I've been doing is all the shitty, dysfunctional, crappy thoughts I've been having, I've been chucking it into the jar, because I'm really committed at the moment to bringing in some really cool shit in my future. I mean, there's a lot going on in my life at the moment, and there's a lot of shifts, a lot of changes, and I'm really going for some big things at the moment. That it fucking scares me, like it really does. And there's, as I've mentioned before on the podcast, my usual go-to place with myself, and we all have one, but my usual go-to place with myself is that, I'm not good enough. Nothing I do is ever going to work. I need help doing what I need to do. And if I don't get guided, if I don't get help, I'm never going to be successful. Others are way more luckier than me. All this type of shit that just goes on in my head. And ultimately what that comes down to is that I have a belief in myself that it doesn't matter what I do, I'm never going to be allowed to be proper successful. I'm never going to be allowed to get to where I really want to get to. I'm not allowed. And that's painful. So it's almost like I have to look for permission from others for me to experience success. And obviously this is not true, but it's something that I've that's been drummed into me ever since I was a kid. You're not allowed, you're not allowed, you're not allowed. And so I brought it into my adult life. And until you do some digging of what yours is, it's pretty hard to bring that to the surface. But luckily, and I feel blessed that I've done the work, and I've worked with mentors and coaches just like myself that have helped me bring this to the surface. And now I know it's there, and I can go forth and follow my truth, even though knowing this stuff is there. So anyway, so I've got myself this shitty thoughts jar. So what I'm doing is every day, the shitty, dysfunctional thoughts, I'm writing them down on a piece of paper and putting in my shitty thoughts jar. And at the end of the day, take all those thoughts out, I reread them, and I either burn them. I've been burning them in the backyard, or I just scrunch them up and chuck them in the bin, or just, whatever, split them open so they're not whole paper things anymore, and chuck it in the bin and make sure it goes outside somewhere out of this house, because I don't want the energy of those shitty thoughts in my immediate residence, in my immediate house. So then this is what it comes down to, gang. We have to be super courageous in almost getting super comfortable and super clear on what it is that you actually want to experience in your future. Make it up. Like, bro, if you don't know, it's like, I don't know what my purpose is, then fuck that. Don't worry about your purpose. Just come in. What is it you want to experience? What do you want? Be fucking specific. Most of the time it's going to be much larger than you ever thought it was going to be. So you may as well go big and have the courage to bring them in, write them down, or have them in your thoughts. I like writing shit down because that helps me. And then you have to start to fuel your present moment with the thoughts, the emotions, and what it is that you want to create in the future. So if you want to experience calmness or prosperity or abundance or love, freedom, whatever it might be, you have to find a way to bring that into the present moment, because when you do, you start to become comfortable with the fact that you are the creator of your life. And that whole timeline between past, present, and future, all that will start to come into one little thing. It'll just come into one line. So if you imagine a timeline, which is a line, at the right-hand side, there's the future. At the left-hand side, there's the past. That's the way I see it anyway. And in the middle, there's the future. In the middle, there's the present. So it's almost like it just folds up into itself and just becomes this vertical line, which is basically what all the wise people say, is that when you live in the superconscious, everything is connected on all levels of time and space, which means the future is here, the past is here, everything is here. Everything is just happening in this one moment. So then that's where the courage comes in. You have to start fueling. So imagine your present moment is like a car, and you got to fuel it with something. If you want to start with affirmations, even though I'm not a big believer in affirmations, only because most people do affirmations out of negative feelings. So for example, if you want people want more money or whatever, they're going, oh, I am rich, I'm abundant, or whatever it might be. But really, where that is coming from is a feeling of lack. So, and that's basically what you're going to be fueling the present moment with lack, and then you experience more lack. So if you are doing affirmations, I guess the most important thing with affirmations is that you really do feel what it is you're saying. I'm prosperity, like, fuck yeah. Like, you can feel that, I am abundant, I am love. Like, if you're saying these things, you have to feel them. I am prosperity. Like, that feels really good. Like, I feel that. You have to feel, like, to the point where, I've almost got goosebumps coming up, because I feel that in my body. I am love. And it's like having this space of knowing that you and the way you become love is that you love the fuck out of something. Use your dog, use your partner, use yourself. Look yourself in the mirror and force it. Look yourself in the mirror and go, holy shit, you are so fucking beautiful. Look at you. Holy shit, man. You are fucking beautiful. Things like that, where you're coming out of your own patterns. You're forcing yourself out of your own patterns. And that's where you got to call yourself on your own BS. It's super powerful stuff. And as I said before, it's going to feel like you're forcing it. It's going to feel a little bit fake to start with, but so the fuck what? Like, wouldn't you rather feel fake to start the process than have all this negative shit around you? Try something new. You know, and I'm not saying you don't try anything new. I'm not having a go at you. I'm just giving you a heads up on how important it is for you to fuel this present moment with good stuff. Fuel this present moment with thoughts and emotions that really get you going, that you know, it's like, this is what I want to feel in the future, or this is what I want to experience in the future. Then you got to bring that shit into here. It happens now. So if you fuel the future from here, not from waiting around to see if something spectacular is going to happen, because it's fucking not. Because if you're waiting around now, you're going to be waiting around. The next moment will come, and you'll be waiting around. You'll be waiting around then too. So if you start to believe these things of what you want in the future, and you start to fake it, you know, and it becomes part of your daily thing, where you put something on the mirror, you put something in your wallet, you do whatever it is, whatever the fuck you need to do. If you need some tips specifically to you, then, you know, feel free to reach out to me, and we can do a session, an intro session or whatever, and we'll see where we take it from there. I mean, this is my life. My life is pretty much, you know, well, working with myself, which can be quite an epic experience, but also I've got bloody one-on-one clients, coaching clients, and I love doing what I do because I get to explore and dig with other people, and it's so much fun. Because others, you know, they come and they're just like, holy shit, you know, I didn't really know this about me, and blah, blah. Anyway, I'm not going to go on about that because it's on the verge of becoming, trying to get new clients, which I'm not trying to do. But I'm just saying it's like that there's so many cool things here that are available to you. And I love the fact that you're here still listening to BS Machine, and you know that every episode, it always has one piece of gold in it, and you might have got that already. So, you know, this is it, guys. That's it. That's all I got for you today. I just want to remind you to do some great things. You all deserve to be absolutely happy. You all deserve to have all of the riches, all of the things. I mean, it's your birthright to experience absolute goodness now. That's your birthright. And, you know, I haven't looked too much into it, but even with, you know, the guy, no, in the Bible, Jesus, I mean, I haven't looked too much into it, but remember how it said, he just went up to people and he basically just put his hand out and whatever, and he's like, you are healed, and they're healed. And they're like, huh? The fuck did you do that? I betcha that he would have done that because he had so much belief in the fact that they were healed that it just happened. So just that level of belief, imagine if we could get that level of belief. You know, I'm with certain things in my own life, I'm definitely getting there, and the other things that I'm still working with, the more I believe in it, the more I see evidence in my life that those things are showing up. And it's almost like a miracle, because once you believe something, it fucking happens. Like, it literally happens. As soon as you believe it, it just pops up in your life. Like, wow, all I had to do was just fully believe in it. At the start, it always feels like you're being a bit half-assed, a bit fake, a bit whatever, inauthentic. But then your body, your energy body goes, fuck, he's yapping on about this quite a bit. So let's just believe him. And it's like, okay, cool. And when that happens, that marriage between your body, your mind, your spirit, and all three of them have this level of belief, wow, that's when pure joy, pure creation, pure miracles are created, and that's what I want for you, and you deserve it. So well done, guys. Thank you so much. If you want to hear more about, this is basically an outline, but this whole timeline thing about the past, present, and future we can go so much deeper. But if you want a little bit more, feel free to hit me up. We'll go through it. But otherwise, I will see you on the next episode of the BS Machine with Tommy Kendi. Love you guts. Have an epic week. Rock and roll, baby.